Okay. While you guys are doing the train your brain activity and trying to figure out how to make your little pins right where you want them to, um, and it's going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes to kind of really get your brain to work that way. And so that's going to be a big part of what we're doing while I talk about something else. um, I want to kind of give an idea of how you can use these in assessments, how we can look at using these different not just art programs, but coding programs, Minecraft, these types of things to allow students to demonstrate their understanding of a concept or an area of our curriculum without maybe having to do it the traditional way with pen and paper, and maybe give them some alternatives. So the first thing I want to take a look at um, is one of the things that I did over the summer with our summer ignite kids and looking at ways that I teach art, so ways I could bring some of this digital art media into that real art world. A lot of art teachers struggle with ways to make the virtual art or digital art, relevant to young kids, for instance. So, just real quick, I want to take a look at sort of how I use Minecraft in my classroom. Um, I'll start off by showing you a little bit. The classroom I've created is this little yellow space here. In my Minecraft world, I have a classroom where there are desks, little chests where students can find materials they're going to need to do the build that we're going to be working on that day. The little green squares you see there in front of you are the individual build areas that they might build on their own. On the other side of that, in the big white space that you can kind of see to the right, is a group build area where in small groups they can work collaboratively to accomplish a project or overcome a problem, complete a task, that kind of thing. You also see that's our Saturn V rocket. It's a full scale rocket, Saturn V, and it's part of our um, planetarium, which it sits on top of. Also attached to the planetarium, you can kind of see behind it is the International Space Station. In my world, I have a full scale Titanic. Students can explore the Titanic. They can get on it, go around, kind of stand if you'll see there's kind of a little glass podium where you can stand on the front of it and pretend like you're Jack from Titanic and scream you're the king of the world. I have an art museum where students can come learn about the different principles and concepts related to art. That's my content that I build and install. But I have multiple different museums, and all of them have content from different areas. Behind it, you'll see the aquarium. This is our aquarium. The aquarium is really cool. It has a research facility in the bottom of it. You can go to the walkway and go out underneath the bay and see dolphins, sea turtles, and all types of tropical fish. I have built a full scale Washington monument. The elevator is not yet working. You have to take the steps to the top, but it is full scale. It's it's really very interesting, and for each of these different areas within the Minecraft worlds, you can put NPC characters. If you're not familiar with those are non-player characters. They're characters that students can engage with. That is a full-scale Great Pyramid of Giza. I'm willing to bet it's one of the largest things ever built in Minecraft. All mine. It has its own atmosphere inside. It's absolutely huge. Inside, I have students working on the Sphinx. We're also going to do a display to Tutankhamun. So you can kind of imagine ways that students can demonstrate understanding of some of these principles in history, social studies, science, by building something in a Minecraft world that demonstrates that understanding. They can go in our Museum of Science and Industry. You'll see there's a large DNA strand. They can learn all about DNA and science, of course. There's a chemistry lab inside of our Science and Industry Museum. There is a Wright Brothers plane, a biplane, and then of course we have a 737 that students can go in. If you've never been on a plane, if kids never been there, they can sit in the seats, and it really looks like you're on approach as you come into a runway in a city. This is our Museum of Natural Sciences, sort of based on the Field Museum in Chicago. We have in there skeletons for dinosaurs of um, T Rex, um, pterodactyl, and also stegosaurus. This is our World Museum. I call it. It's all the different continents are on display here, and you can learn about those. And it's got a large African elephant on top. I'll go real quick and show you on the other side of this. This is the International Space Station. Again, if you think about how can students, demonstrate concepts related to science, this one's really cool. Our students did research to find out where do they keep the extra um, um, spacesuits and that sort of thing. Where do they use a bathroom? Where do they sleep? All the fun stuff that you really want to know about what goes on the International Space Station. They can do the research on. They can build out and fill out the International Space Station, and you'll find out that it's mostly a bunch of packages of stuff everywhere. It's not as entertaining to look at as you might think. And we also have a barn. Our barn has in it on display. You can see these are NPC characters. Students can go to each and every NPC character. In my world, I've got about 110 characters going so far, and you can interact with those. They'll tell you about whatever that display is. And this one, it's all about barns, so you'll find out about sheep and donkeys and pigs and mules and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And so this is the one way you can use, and I don't want to harp too much on Minecraft because I know there's a separate and probably more inviting and exciting PD going on with Minecraft, probably just next door. But I do want you to understand that this is one of those mediums that you can use to help students demonstrate understanding the concepts. And so one of the ways that I used it over this summer was to create a little program around using that Minecraft. And so what we did, we went through Minecraft. This is one of the worlds that you can take students through. There are hundreds of lessons already built in Minecraft Education Edition. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. They're really cool. This one allows students to get into these enormous fossils and different displays, sculptures created around these animals that have gone extinct. And this lesson's about animals that have gone extinct. And students learned why they went extinct, what they ate, how they attracted a mate, what their environment was like, and so forth. They again have NPC characters that engage the students. Students can engage in and learn about these concepts. As we went through, they looked at the different types of things that went into these animals. And again, how they defend themselves. And then what they were invited to do was create their own. This is one of the examples. Their own animal. What if you created an animal that went extinct? Why would it have gone extinct, first of all? What did it eat? How did it defend itself? This one had cool horns and that kind of thing. How did it attract a mate? Well, this one had these big feathers on the back that made it all beautiful and everything. And it would defend itself by kicking. And so the students could write about those things. They could talk about whether these are herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, that sort of thing. Again, thinking about how you can demonstrate understanding of a concept or principle, not necessarily using the traditional means. Okay. And so what I had students do was then in clay, they built their animal that they created in their 3D world. Oh, I guess I should say they looked at that the extinct world. They then built in their own Minecraft world their own animal, and then in the real world, they took clay and they brought that Minecraft animal to life in the 3D world, and then they got to paint it, and that's the fun part for almost every kid. So it's a great way to sort of use Minecraft as a 3D CAD system, if you will, a basic understanding of how students can work in a three-dimensional space. That's a good concept to understand as we've kids in middle school and high school will be printing on 3D printers soon. If we have time at the end of this, I'd like to demonstrate a couple of other 3D programs that your kids have access to, and most likely you do as well. And so we'll take a look at ways that we can meet them where they are. All right. Hopefully now you guys are masters at using those tablets. I'm certain everybody is. Okay. We're going to take a look next at the application called Chrome Canvas. So I'm going to stop this segment here, and then we'll start very soon with Chrome Canvas.